Hello friends and welcome to Simply Excellence with NC. I'm sure you're enjoying your journey with Adventures to Excel. In this video, what we are going to talk about is about protecting your workbooks and worksheets. It's a very important thing. Sometimes you have a worksheet or a workbook which you don't want people to edit. You want to share it only as read mode. You don't want people to see what are the calculations or the formulas what you have given in a specific range of cells or in a particular cell. How do you protect that? How do you make sure that people first of all don't change that? Other thing is, you don't even want people to know what is the formula or how you have come up to that calculation. So let's start with that journey, and I have a sheet here which has some columns which are available. By default, when we are protecting our Excel sheet, one thing what we have to remember is all the cells in the worksheet are by default unlocked. So if I show you that, I will just select one of the columns here, right click on that and go to Format Cells. In Format Cells, we go to the Protection tab, and if you see, the property is unlocked, that is the locked checkbox is not selected, that is it is unlocked, and even the hidden checkbox is not selected, that is it is not hidden also. So let's see how do we protect our column. So here what I have here is, for example, I want to protect this particular column where I have written a calculation here, I have written a formula here, I have written some concatenate function which I don't want people to modify. So first thing what we will do is, we will click on this column because I have copied this formula across the whole sheet. I right click on the column, go to Format Cells, and I say locked. I select the locked checkbox. In the Protection tab, I select the locked checkbox. Now once this is locked, what we can do now is we can protect the sheet, protect this column, because by default, as I said, Excel has everything as unlocked, and when we are protecting, it looks for only the locked cells. So we will highlight this column once again, go to your Review tab, and in the Review tab we have an option which says Protect Sheet. So I will click on Protect Sheet, and it says Protect Worksheet and Contents of Locked Cells. So we are going to protect the locked cells, and it requires a password. So I will give a password here, and then we have various options what we can allow a user to do. Like if I don't want a user to even select the locked cells, I can choose this option, select locked cells, that is the user will be allowed to select the cells. So these are all options which allow a user to work in this worksheet. So if I don't want a particular column, like for example, I don't want the user to even select this column, I can unselect this checkbox. But as of now, I will keep it selected because I want to show you something. Select unlocked cells. This we'll have to keep it. The reason is, even if this specific columns are not protected, I want people to go there and edit. We can even go to an option where we say allow users to format columns, which we don't. Let's say if we don't want the user to even format a column, we can unselect this option. As simple as that, and I will click on OK. It will re-ask for the password. To reconfirm the password, I will retype it. Now I can come here, but I cannot type anything here. If I try to type anything in that particular cell, which the column which I had protected, I cannot type anything here. It says the cell or the chart you are trying to change is in protected sheet. So I click on OK, fine. The only thing is, now if anybody goes to the cell, can still see the formula there. So one option can be that we even say that don't allow, but if we don't allow a person to select. So first of all, I will unprotect my sheet from the Review tab, unprotect the sheet, and now what I will do is, I will right click on this column, select the column, right click, format cells, and I will select locked as well as hidden. Click on OK. Give a password. Re-enter the password. What happens now is I can select the cell, but I cannot see what is the calculation or what is the formula a user has given. I will unprotect the sheet. Other ways of doing it, I will unprotect the sheet. We can also go through file, and in the file options you can see protect workbook. In protect workbook you have an option which says mark as final. Now what is this mark as final? We can create this worksheet and say that this worksheet is a final worksheet where I don't want people to change the structure, but it doesn't. So if I click on this, it says this workbook will be marked as final. I click on OK. I click on OK. So the moment I open this worksheet or the workbook, it says the marked as final, and author has marked this workbook as final to discourage editing. The person can click on edit anyway. The other place to see how to see whether the workbook has been marked as final is in the status bar. You will see next to ready there is marked as final. The moment I click on edit anyway, it allows us to edit. I'll go to file again. In the file tab again, you have other options like you have encrypt with password. So if I click on encrypt with password, I give a password here. I retype the password. Now this workbook is encrypted with the password. So if I close this, save it, and I try to open the file again, it asks for a password. I will give the password what I gave, and it opens the file. Now this is not worth doing. The reason is if you're sharing this file with someone and it has to be protected, then instead of protecting the whole workbook, I can protect the column itself. What we can also do is, I will go to, and I will remove. If you want to remove the password, just go to encrypt with password and remove the password. So password control has gone. Other way of protecting the workbook, the full workbook, is you can save the file. You can save as, while saving as, you have an option of tools. You go to tools and you say general options. Here it says password to open and password to modify. This if you give, then you can give only one of them. You can specify password to modify only. So when you specify password to modify, if a person is trying to modify the file, he or she at that moment will be allowed to change. But when the person is trying to save the file, will get an error. So I will just try to give a password here. And save the file. The file is saved with the password. Now if I try to change a date, let's say it changes, but when I save the file, it does not allow me to save. You can protect a worksheet also from the same tab, from the file tab itself, by going into protect current sheet. Now when you go to current sheet, it works on the same principle. The only thing what you will have to remember here is you'll have to first change the property in the protection of that column to locked, so that when you give the password for protection, it gets locked. We go to the file tab again, go to file, and there is an option which says protect workbook structure. If you don't want people to change the structure, like add sheets, remove sheets, then you can protect the structure, and you can give a password here. Save the file. save the file. I will close the file again and I will open it. I don't know the password, so I can just click on read only. I will have this. If I try to add, now if you see, I cannot add a new sheet here. The new add new sheet control is missing from here. It's disabled, so I cannot add a new sheet. I right click on the sheet, I try to delete the sheet, I am not able to delete the sheet as well. So this was about protecting your worksheet. So I can just go to protect workbook again and protect workbook structure. I don't give the password. I had given a password. The only thing is, now you have protected the workbook structure. I will give the password, and now my new sheet can be added. You can see the new sheet control is got activated. I can delete a particular sheet, I can insert a sheet, whatever I can do it from here itself. I'm sure this video would have given you information regarding protecting your worksheets and protecting your workbooks, protecting your column ranges. We have discussed how to protect a particular column from editing, how to avoid people seeing the formulas or the calculations what you have done in a particular column or in a particular cell. You can even work on one cell as well. So, like the video, share the video, subscribe for the channel. Thank you for watching and have a nice time.